And a very, very warm welcome along, everybody. Happy Monday. It is the final Monday in September, and it's 2 o'clock here in the United Kingdom. We are back at our normal time today. I hope everyone is doing very, very well. Welcome into Adrian, Chad, and Gemma. We're going to be running BIBAREL for our first of maybe 2 runs today. It depends how we are feeling. Now, BIBAREL is a Generation 4 Pokemon known quite often for being the ultimate HM friend, so we will see how this one gets on. Welcome into Kamakiku, Deadpool, and Jason as well. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and Kanbei. We need all the HM friends we can get. We're going to be catching the HM friends regardless. Now, we did run BIBAREL a little while ago. I think it was close to a year ago. But that was an evolving challenge. I just want to get how long it took last time. We were 122.26 on our last run. So we'll try and keep that in mind. And we'll see how we get on this one. I've made a couple more tweaks, by the way, to the auto timer and the other scripts that run everything behind the scenes. We'll see how much breaks today. It's going to be a work in progress probably until the end of the year. Let's get ourselves started. The timer's started. That's a very, very good sign. I cannot wait to get my hands on Crossworlds probably tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. My productivity is going to go through the absolute floor, though, with it. So maybe I'll be sensible, and I'll wait until I've got everything recorded before buying it. I do like the technical issues that come up. They're far easier to resolve in a pre-rec because I can pause the timer, I can stop the recording, and I can just figure out what the issue is and work with it there. On a live stream, the pressure is quite high though to get it all sorted out. Now we will grab the Scamtidote. We're in a very good position, actually, having a Rock-type move very early on. There ain't no fun like an S-Club party. You're not wrong there, Kanbei. My trouble is, a 2-week game cycle for me can easily be a 6 or 7 week game cycle. And I ain't got 6 or 7 weeks before I run out of videos. I got the Crobat run recorded last night after people mentioned it in the chat. So we do have Crobats coming in early November now. I managed to get a run across the line. It was pain, it was suffering, it was horrible. But we did manage to do it. And all I will say is I felt like a right fool for something I said mid-recording that then came to bite me in the bum afterwards. I actually didn't realise how bad Crobat's stats were until I took on that challenge. Apart from speed, it doesn't really have much. You want a Phoebus challenge? I think the Milotic backport is up on the website. That kind of challenge, though, we've got to save if I am going to stream it. We've got to save it for a special occasion. Because that will take a lot of time, effort, and mental energy to get over the line. Yep, no Sludge Bomb. It was a choice between two hidden powers, and I potentially took the wrong one. Although in taking the hidden power that I took, I made other parts of the game easier that could easily have been just as much of a wall, if not a bigger wall, than the wall we faced. Herein lies the frustration with rollout. It's not 100% accurate. I know we've got a lot of choice on the TM list. In fact, I have slightly messed up. So I'm going to pause the timer after this. Because the HMs are... The hidden power type has gone to Ice. And I think we do get Ice Punch. I'm just going to double check. Do we not get Ice Punch, actually? We don't get Ice Punch. I thought we did. Never mind. We'll keep it as it is. We get Surfer Jazz, so we can go for Hidden Power Ice. I've got a horrible feeling, you know, though, that Dynamic Punch is going to be a little bit pertinent in this one. 418 for the Zephyr badge. I do like that this Beaver can use both Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. He has hands to punch, he gets Dynamic Punch. That's the confusing thing. The reason he gets Dynamic Punch is because he gets Focus Punch, and that's ostensibly a one-for-one substitute. Now, we do have Bite. Bite is a fairly decent move. We have enough speed to take advantage of it. Bibarel knows to throw hands only in the most violent way possible, I think is what we can glean from that. True, Wooper would like a word with you if you think that hands mean anything with the punching moves. I do love how much of a meme this Pokemon is as well. It's one of my all-time favourites. It feels very Gen 2 in design, which does help the cause with me. I love Bibarel's design. It's so blooming goofy. And because the image is shrunk down on the overlay, it looks like it's got no pupils in its eyes. I think great minds think alike there, Comrade Oddball. Welcome in, by the way. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. You know what? Sod it. I can't be bothered skipping past Russell. We'll just have to nibble on his Geodude. Also, I am incredibly fatigued today. I didn't get much sleep. There was some commotion outside as I was trying to have a lie-in. Nothing too terrible. just a lot of vehicles and a lot of those horrible reversing sounds. So I've only had about 3 hours sleep. So do expect the unexpected, or just the naff. You never know with me. Let's grab this Kenya. At least my ability to spell Kenya hasn't gone up the Swanee yet. Oh, don't with the beep, beep, beep. I've turned off my monitoring for Epidemic Sound for a little bit because it was starting to get a little bit repetitive while I was doing some testing of the overlay stuff. So I don't know what's playing. I've currently got the Basement Jacks playing in my ears. So you never know, it might be better for me to switch to our playlist. HM friends acquired. Do we learn Swift? Yes, we do. There are so many moves that we learn that it's kind of a struggle for me to read them all. I'll take some chunks out of this Slowpoke, grow to level 13. We are unfortunately in medium fast, my least favourite experience group when it comes to challenge running. And I think I dislike it mostly because it lies at the beginning. Yeah, I don't mind slow, because generally slow has the stats to back it up. You see a lot of the middle-of-the-road stat-wise Pokemon in medium fast. Having said that, the slow experience group was not a good time yesterday. If you did miss yesterday's stream, it was an absolute hot mess. Not one of my better runs, for absolute sure. But that's part of the fun of doing them, especially live. You never know what's going to happen. Welcome in, Polywellswrath. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Level 15 acquired. Water Pulse, yes please. We'll get rid of Tackle. Team Rocket was broken up 3 years ago. Longest 3 years of my life. We'll get out of here. We'll get into our next gym. Do we one-shot the Spinarak with Swift? Yes, we do. And we get rid of the Ladybird. I think in concept, varied XP growth is a fantastic idea. In practice, I think they messed up a lot of Pokemon's XP groups. Like, there are some Pokemon in Fast or Erratic who deserve to be in Slow. I'm looking at Zangoose particularly there. Zangoose does not deserve to be in the quickest level up rate group. I'm going to hold on to one of our PlayStation Network Cure Berries here. I actually remembered to pick them up. Because I have trust issues with Rollout. We ain't getting poisoned, we know that much. And we do connect. Fantastic. Hive Badge in 10 minutes, 11 seconds. Considering we went on a little detour to get Swift, that is not bad. Let's take on rival number 2. And I think actually Rollout might be the strat here. Because we can't get paralysed from Lick. And we get a free turn on the Bayleaf. Yep, there we go. Resetless Rival 2, that was really clean actually. I'm happy with that one. And we get Headbutt now. I love getting Headbutt. Let's get ourselves cut. Rollout has screwed me over so much more often than any other move too, Comrade Oddball. But for a run like this, it can produce some very, very good results. It was short but sweet for Swift. We're going to have Headbutt instead. We've got 71 in our speed stat. What an arbitrary number. I wonder why they chose 71 and decided to remove 1 from its HP stat. I wonder what the logic was there. You've got coffee, the kid's down for a nap, ready for the day? Sounds like a good day to me. I am on the Pepsi Max at the moment. Thought a change was as good as rest, and I realised just how much sugar I had over the summer, so I'm trying to cut down on the old sugary stuff again. I say as I've got some mince pies next to me for after stream, but we won't talk about those. Bloomin' egg movement. I feel like mince pies are an innately British thing as well. I don't really hear anybody from any other countries talking about mince pies. There's some kind of fruit-based concoction in some pastry, and nobody's ever quite sure what the fruit is. I love getting jarred mincemeat and then making mince pies all through the year. It's not meat, it's fruit. So think currant sultanas, mixed peel, that kind of stuff. At least the work coach tried, Gemma. It's better than a lot of people. It's kind of spicy, almost fermented fruit. And I mean fermented as a compliment, would you believe? Either in short crust or puff pastry. Absolutely delicious. Welcome in, Water. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I never knew that they used to have meat in. Abra Kenya Psyduck Paris. That is the order. I can imagine that it was interesting to say the least, and you're probably being fairly complimentary, calling it interesting. Apple pie is really good. I prefer homemade again. Because as unhealthy as it is for you, I feel like apple pie benefits from having the lard in the pastry. My gran taught me how to make this absolutely wonderful short crust pastry. God, it must have been about close to 30 years ago now. Show my age, obviously. And my goodness, that pastry is delicious. Also, when I make my own mince pies, I add a little bit of cinnamon to the pastry mix. It adds just a little bit of extra flavour. I am feeling more and more tense about using rollout every single battle here, because it hasn't bitten us in the bum yet. And I am waiting for that moment where it will screw us over royally. Welcome in, Ryu. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I mean, at least fruit is edible, unlike sawdust. Oh, we've already done this bit. We're going so quickly that my brain hasn't caught up with how fast the run is going. I don't like taking on Greg, but it should just be a single headbutt. Hyperfang, no thank you. I think headbutt is more than suffice. We're getting into Wallace and Gromit season soon, aren't we? I'm definitely having a Monday, and a longer one than I expected. The trouble with clothes that are too small as well is, like, you can get away with, especially trousers that are too big. That's why we invented belts. But when they're too small, not only are they uncomfortable, they never quite fit in the first place because you can't get them closed. I'm kind of well built. I'm in the 20-odd stone category at 6'4". Not sure what that is in proper units, because here in the United Kingdom we use a weird hybrid of both metric and imperial, just to confuse everybody. But I very much relate to clothes not fitting well. 193 centimeters sounds about right. My brain is not there enough to have the maths worked out properly. Headbutt's probably our best move here. Oh, you absolute scumbag, Norman. I like that you said mass instead of weight there, Kanbei. Yeah, we did backport and have water pulse. I don't actually think we used it. That is true. Feet and inches are the same on both sides of the pond. Nine super repels. Do we learn strength? Of course we learn strength. Why am I even questioning it? It's BIBAREL. We may or may not get rid of bite after our next gym. We don't have too long to go either now until our levels start racing up. Major congratulations, Polywell's Wrath, assuming that you willingly lost that weight. I've never understood gallons. I feel like they're a little bit too large for me to visualize. Not that I can visualize anything anyway, I've got aphantasia, but a little too large for me to comprehend. We don't use gallons in the UK unless we're talking about mileage in a car, in which case we do miles per gallon. I'm exactly the same, Kanbei. I am a notoriously picky eater. So, like, I like my junk food, and there's only so much that I can tolerate food-wise. So, I will just eat whatever the heck I feel like I can eat at the time. You should be very proud of yourself for the work you put in Poliwell's Wrath. The trouble with being a picky eater is it depends on what you're picky about. Like, if you're a picky eater and the only things you eat are, like, healthy foods, then it's not that terrible. What is with the rival and switching all of a sudden all the time at the moment? I've got some Pringles downstairs, actually. They're in the kitchen there. Out of sight, out of mind. I haven't had alcohol in about 5-6 years. It was just before everything kicked off with the world, shall we say, that I had my last alcoholic drink. It is in my genes to develop a dependency on alcohol, so I decided to nip it in the bud before it became a problem. Bloody hell, about 8 litres a day. How are you constantly not on the loo? I mean, I know I don't drink a lot anyway. I'm at about 1.75 litres most days. When I'm streaming, I do drink more. But on days where I'm not recording, I only drink about 1.5 to 1.75 litres. I'm not sure if that word is still non grata, shall we say, on this platform, so I'm choosing to very much euphemize it. Although for years I've called Christmas the silly C word, and now people think I mean the other thing. Mintberry kicks in, we get the win. You can tell, actually, that this is a Gen 4 Pokemon. Because Bite and Crunch are both physical moves in Gen 4. I feel like my biggest issue with food at the moment is portion control. Like, there is something wrong with my well, there are many things wrong with my digestive system. I have Crohn's. But there is something lacking. That link which tells you when you're full. That's my issue. The only way I can tell I'm full is if I cannot fit any more food in my body. Which obviously isn't a particularly healthy way to go about things. Crit would have KO'd there. Unless that was a crit. Oh, Lance. Yeah, we need to talk to him. There was that real Wild West period in the late 90s, early 2000s, before people kind of got wise about maybe we should start eating a little bit healthier, where portion control was out of control. And I know a lot of that came to the fact that people had a lot more money available back then, especially compared to these days. But I know as a kid, I'd regularly have like 2 supersized fries when I had my McDonald's. It's the trouble with a lot of food, it's very, very Moorish. I think we'll risk doing Chuck next as well. The big thing about Macca's is you get really hungry really quickly afterwards. Unlike, say, KFC, where you can be a bit boom barder for 3 or 4 days afterwards, depending on how much you eat. But then I do prefer McDonald's fries over KFC fries. At least in this country, KFC fries are not the best. That's being kind. I always get stressed when I battle that Hitmon. You'll see why in a couple of weeks' time. The McDonald's fries here always taste clean and not greasy. At least if you get them in store. If you get it delivered, then they do have a little bit of a chance to show their true colours. We're going to risk this without a berry. I want to keep the bitter berry for later on. And I don't want to go and grab the other bitter berry. There we go, the old one too gets us through. Storm badge, 27.21. See, I really like KFC's boneless chicken. I love the coating. But then I don't like chicken on the bone. So the only thing I will eat from there is their boneless. I think their popcorn has turned really disgusting, actually, in the last year or two. It's a little local place that does good chicken near me. I've been trying actually to eat more locally if I'm going to eat out. My big weakness for any kind of eating out is Chippy, though. I could go to the Chippy 7 days a week if it was open 7 days a week. Enjoy your meeting, Kambe, if you can. The good thing about the Chippy is it's, for the most part, all fresh food. Which does make a big difference. I think that's all the housekeeping we need to do. The Chippy is absolutely a different story. I'm not a big fan of the texture of fish, but my local chip shop does freshly battered chicken pieces. So I generally have those with chips and a couple of bread rolls, whatever you want to call bread rolls in your particular part of the country. Be it barm cake, tea cake, muffin, stotty, bread cake I've heard before. We get a rare outing of Sunny Day there from the Steelix. Half an hour on the nose. For the mineral badge. I do love how over-the-top passionate people get about the names for bread rolls as well. Where I grew up, it was a barm cake. So I am in agreement with the people who call it a barm cake. But then I've lived in places that call it tea cakes. I've lived in places that call it bread cakes. Lived in places that call it muffins as well. And they're all the same thing. To be fair, if you said barm cake to probably a good 75% of the population in the United Kingdom, they wouldn't know what you meant either. It's a little bit like accents in this country. There are many, many of them, far more than you would expect for the amount of area that we cover. The trouble then goes, if you're asking for a sausage roll, are you asking for like a Greg's sausage roll? Or are you asking for a roll with sausages in? It is very true. Part of the test to become British is becoming overly invested in the minutiae of bread classification and especially bread naming. Not just classification of is this a roll or not, because there are people who will argue about that, believe you me. I've got to say, BIBAREL has been surprisingly cromulent so far. I kind of understand what an American biscuit is. The way I've always been shown it is it's kind of a savoury scone type of texture. That's another big argument you can get into in this country, actually, the pronunciation of scone or scone. I say scone because that's how it was said where I grew up. But then, once you've agreed on a pronunciation, you then have the where does the jam of the cream go? And it's layers upon layers of arguments. A Popeyes has opened probably about 30-40 kilometres from me. It's the first one in the county. I've not dared to go yet. A ston of scone should rhyme. Fair. The argument about the positioning of the jam and the cream is very much a southern thing. You don't see it so much in the north. But then you don't really see scones quite as often in the north, actually. There's a place where I used to live that used to do homemade scones, and that was literally the only baked good they did. The rest of the stuff they did was mostly rotisserie chicken and other hot meats. But the owner of it had a real passion for making scones. If I was a scone, I definitely would be a scone. I have eaten Popeyes once-ish. And I have to add the caveat of ish, because I'm not sure if it was a legitimate Popeyes, because it was in the northern half of Cyprus, which isn't internationally recognised and has a lot of trade embargoes on it. So I don't know if it was just some other chicken place stealing the branding of it. Because that kind of thing, at least when I visited the north of Cyprus, did happen quite a lot, with no ramifications. Biscuits and gravy does sound incredibly wrong to British ears. You're not wrong there. That's why my bag was full, right. At least I know. Yeah, we'll forget strength. I just realised we've got 7 badges already. It's completely in a world of my own there. Getting this one done. We'll get ourselves into Goldenrod. We'll pause the timer for the immense amount of reading that goes into a vitamin shop. And then we shall take a very quick break. Is there anything else we want to get rid of? There we go. And we will unpause the timer to grab return. And we will go into the Pokémon Center. So we're going to pause the timer at 36:50. I'm going to take a very quick 3-minute break. Now, I am interested, actually. We've had a lot of food talk. And I really want to know, if you had to have one food every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? I'll have a think about it as well during the break. Because I wonder if there's going to be some kind of, like, very close cohesion with everyone. Or if everyone's just going to have something completely different. I'll see you all in 3 minutes. And we are back. Seems like a lot of people like the chicken. And a lot of people like the curries as well. I had a little think as well for me. And I reckon probably, if my tummy could handle it, which it probably wouldn't, I'd go for salt and pepper chicken balls and chippy chips, honestly. And a couple of tea cakes. I'd put on the weight incredibly quickly. But I'd be very happy eating that day in, day out. My wallet wouldn't be so happy though, honestly. Anyway, let's get ourselves through Radio Tower. I do like pasta, but I go through phases with it. Like, there will be weeks where all I want to eat is pasta. And then I won't want to touch it for months. Salt and pepper chips are amazing. Salt and pepper anything is glorious, to be fair. I've actually got a pack mix downstairs of salt and pepper seasoning. When I'm not being lazy and make my own fried chicken from scratch, I'll quite often use that in the batter. A good spaghetti bolognese is always gorgeous. You used to enjoy pasta, but then it expired. Alas, it passed away. Boo. I like anything I can shove in the air fryer, to be fair. I did not get the gene that enjoys cooking. I got the gene that enjoys creating baked goods instead. There is definitely a reason spag bol is ubiquitous. It was relatively cheap, not so much these days. Why Barry? Because BIBAREL, and Barry's the rival in Gen 4. So it's kind of double layered, like lasagna. I suppose lasagna's got more layers than that. Air fryer, I barely know her. She probably wouldn't be happy being put in the air fryer. I'm in a similar position, Comrade Oddball. But that goes with anything for me. My object permanence is so terrible that unless something is directly in front of me, I kind of forget it exists. And that goes for food, it goes for clothing at times. I forget that I've got so many blooming t-shirts. At one point I ended up with about 250. I could never forget you, Ryu. You see, the difference there is you're not an object, you're a person. Absolute scumbag rival. The cat is doing well. He is currently downstairs having a nice little sleep. He's getting used to me being in the office as well now. Why am I repelling? I meant to potion. Now, while we are going through the rockets, to get off the food talk for just a couple of moments, we can get back to it in a moment. We do have our next video coming out tomorrow, so if you're a HM friend, it will be Dragonite. If you're not a HM friend of the channel, then you will be seeing Miltank drop into your subscription feeds at some point tomorrow afternoon. So that is what we have to look forward to this week. Then there's going to be a bit of a gap between videos again, and then we'll be back to 3 videos a week. I mentioned it yesterday, but we are doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the videos. And then we're going to be streaming probably Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So we're going to be flipping the days. An oven spaghetti dish. Cherry tomatoes, cream cheese, bleh, spinach, bleh. I am not a fan of spinach. I don't like its texture, and I can't eat cream cheese. So that means that I'm not going to be coming around to yours for dinner tonight. So you can have it all. I've not done a Porygon Z backport yet. I could do a What was the reason I didn't do a Porygon Z backport? There was one move, and a little bit like yesterday, where we were talking about the fart jar with Abra. There's a back-end name for these kind of moves, and I call them arsehole moves. Because they are right arsehole to backport, and I can't remember what the arsehole move is with Porygon Z, but I know there is one, and that's why I've not backported it yet. Thinking of the word arsehole, actually, it's kind of amazing to me that, at least in my own head, asshole is considered kind of mild language, but arsehole is considered significantly more profane. Conversion 2's already in. That one I don't need to worry about, thank goodness. I cannot for the life of me off the top of my head remember which move it is. I just know that there is a move that I am not happy about having to backport. By the way, if you are wondering why every so often I'm saying stuff that doesn't seem to match the YouTube chat, we're live on both YouTube and Twitch. And I'm just saying, e-begging time, if you've got a Prime sub going, I know a very happy home for it. I'm joking, of course. I've done Embargo before. It's a little bit in depth, but it's not the worst. Magnet Rise I've done before as well. That one, again, a little bit in depth. Just takes a few RAM slots, but it's not that bad. I've done Trick Room. It'll be something in the Gen 4 Learn set. Trick Room's actually fairly easy. In the ROM hack that was made a couple of years ago, Magic Coat might be it. Magic Coat rings a bell, and it's always scary when a move rings a bell. What does Magic Coat do? I don't think I've ever had it on a Pokémon. If it's something about stealing move effects, then that will definitely be it. Bounces status moves back to the target. Yep, that's the move. It's not even that particularly difficult to code. It's just so in-depth. Because there are so many if, ands, or buts with Magic Coat. That move would take a couple of hours just to get the base code in. And then, depending on other moves as well, and how in-depth they are, might end up with some space issues. That doesn't matter to me, Water. If I'm backporting, I put the full learn set in regardless of whether I'd use the move or not. Because I release them to the public. Exactly, most of the work that I put into backports never gets used. But I know that people enjoy... Oh, Swords Dance? Absolutely. I'm not used to getting a useful move at level 50 blood 47. Oh, the overlay isn't lying, actually. I just can't read. Claire does not need any lying Pokemon on her team. Yeah, Bibarel's like me. I used to play with swords more than every week, actually. Being an ex-fencer. Oh, did I not bloomin' teach the HMs to Psyduck? It is just Lance who lies. Magic Coat, Comrade Oddball, is definitely one of those moves that has the potential to break everything. First few attempts. I remember the Angry Beavers. I don't remember much about it. I just remember that Nick Bakai, the voice of Salem in Sabrina, one of my all-time favourite characters in the show actually is Salem. But Nick Bakai voiced one of them. I do like silly shows. No, I meant to use Surf here. So Zim and the Darker Beaver have the same voice. And then Salem, Saberhagen and the Lighter Beaver share the other same voice. The thing with Sabrina is they had a lot of potential spin-off shows, and the one spin-off I wish they'd have done was a spin-off with Hilda and Salem. I think those two had such good chemistry. And all props to Caroline Ray for that as well, because she was acting with a puppet and still managed to get her timing spot on. Unfortunately, we don't know an earthquake. Earthquake would have made Bibarel's Learn set ostensibly perfect for the rest of this challenge. I never knew she was in Phineas and Ferb. I meant to pick up another Bitterberry and I forgot. We'll roll with it. But F drop isn't what I was hoping to see there. I've actually gotten really unlucky with my Spit F drops lately. There we go. We got through Will without too much of an issue. On to Koga. Yeah, the special attacking learn set is actually really good for our BIBAREL. But our special attack isn't great. On to Bruno we go. We're doing our standard Bruno here when we have Swords Dance set up against the Hitmon top and then just sweep. 100 years is a long time. Karen prep done. Let's see how we go. I want to avoid sand attack if possible. So we'll do one quick reset. Scam artist. There we go, sand attack failed. We get the win now. We'll two-shot this Gengar. Welcome in, Royal K-Man. Never apologise for being late. Who's Karen's manager? Karen. Possibly a little bit overkill doing 3 Swords Dances here, but I don't really care because we're going to get through very easily now. Maybe. We outspeed the Zard. I didn't panic for a moment there. 54-48 for Lars. And 55-04 for the Hall of Fame. We didn't even use any rare candies in that league. We've got them all for red. Let's grab our midpoint leaderboard. One day she will get her interview. It's not today. 14th place is not bad. Back to lurking. Boo. You might have spotted actually on the bottom row of page 2 there. The other BIBAREL run, so we're about 10 minutes ahead of where we were last time. And this is our 161st streamed Crystal Challenge. So let's just let the leaderboard cycle back to where we are, and we can see 14th place. Not bad going. We'll unpause the timer now. And we will get Kanto done. Macago does need something. Mega Macago would be cool. I still would love to see a Wug Trio Toadscrawl kind of situation with Macago, where they go for an underwater snail. Let's take on Surge. Didn't even need the Persecure Berry, I don't think, after all of that. There we go. Surge done. Thunder Badge in 5712. Just making sure that purchase actually went through there. Now I've got myself lost because I don't normally do Celadon City like this. I can't remember the in-universe lore for Hilda having to take care of Salem. I know there is actual lore about it. I just can't remember the specifics off the top of my head. Please one-shot this Tangler. There we go. She was definitely part of the regime, but why she got lumped with taking care of Salem, I think it might have been because she was only part of the catering division or something. So she didn't get turned into a cat, but she still had to face some consequences. What an awkward route into this gym. What's our speed looking like? That is true. Her Season 1 ex-fiancé was head of the Witches' Council. Never to be seen again after Season 1. We never heard of Drell, Jenny, or Mr. Poole after Season 1. At least they gave Valerie a slight send-off storyline in Season 4. That show was my introduction to Penn and Teller as well. Losing Libby and Valerie and replacing them with Dreamer and Brad was not great, honestly, for the show. There we go, rock tunnel movement. Back where it should be. I do believe that Penn and Teller are the Desert Bus for Hope people. Exactly, he doesn't know he's a witch hunter, so he just has something against Sabrina. It didn't really make that much sense in the show. Talking of Sabrina, we're taking her on now. I wonder why the auto splitter has suddenly stopped working now. My gut instincts would say it would be Sabrina, seeing as that's who we were just facing. How rude, Vaporeon. That quick attack was not what I was looking for there. Taking some damage outside of a gym. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to ZA at all. The decisions they have made with some of the new Megas has completely put me off the game. And I wasn't that enthused with the direction this Legends was going to begin with. Misty time. Yeah, exactly. Paid DLC announced prior to release. Mega's locked away behind the Switch Online paywall. Another Mega locked behind paid DLC. The Pokémon Company, especially with the thing with the codes in the US for the shiny Gen 9 box arts. They are shedding goodwill left, right, and centre at the moment. We don't even know if Megas will be in Gen 10. That's the other thing. The gimmicks are so temporary and fleeting that it's hard to get invested in them because you don't know how long they're going to be around for. And Champions isn't going to have a very big roster at the beginning as well, from what I've heard. I did not enjoy most of the decisions that went into Gen 8. Gen 10 needs a lot of improvements to get me back into modern Pokemon. Both Galar and Paldea have no depth. Which is another one of my issues. Exactly, there's a lot of history and culture in both the Iberian Peninsula and the United Kingdom, which could have been pulled from, and it just didn't work. At least for me. Oh god, that Pidgeot's getting stacked. Thank you for popping in, Water. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll catch up very soon. $108.50 for the last badge. We are doing quite well. I don't think we're going to get sub 110 just by virtue of having to move across the map. But sub 120 is almost a dead cert now. Can stop stressing so much about my Dark Caves movement now. Scumbag. I think setting up against this Pikachu might be bait, actually. Just play with Red's AI instead. That was a one-shot on Snorlax with return while Reflect was up. $112.04 for the BIBAREL line. Not bad going. We just needed to realise that his Venusaur is passive with Protect. 12th place on the leaderboard, just 4 seconds behind Swampert there. And just ahead of Dodrio as well. That's it for our Unbound rule set. Let's now take a look at our overall streaming leaderboard. And 13th place, unlucky for some, but definitely not unlucky for BIBAREL there. Happy with that one. I feel like that was a very, very smooth ride without too many roadblocks. Not too shabby indeed. Didn't quite make it onto the first page of the leaderboard. But then not every Pokemon is going to be able to be top 10 potential. And we were less than a minute behind our top 10 there. And then if we combine both streams and pre-records together, 34th place. I think we can be very happy with that. So we'll let the leaderboard play out in full now. Now, I am thinking we could potentially get another run in today. So I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow. So it would be nice to do the double today. And I remember on stream yesterday, we had a couple of ideas. I think we settled on both Floatzel and FALINKS having their runs. Now, I think it'd be more interesting to run FALINKS today, because Floatzel's going to be a very similar run to BIBAREL, just without having the normal type. So what do we all think? Do we fancy a Generation 8 Pokemon? Seeing as we've been slating Galar this entire time. I'm just making sure I've got all the assets I need for FALINKS. Time are we at now? 24 minutes past. I reckon we've got it in us to do another run. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, Deadpool. Thank you for popping in. I will get everything set up for Phalanx. I'll be back in about 3 minutes' time, maybe a little bit longer. And we will be good to go with our second run of the day. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. Let's reset the resets. And we should be good to go with Phalanx. So this is what our Phalanx looks like. We are level 5 with 21 HP, holding a berry with Protect, Tackle, and a Rock Smash. It's exclamation mark result. As opposed to results. 16 in attack and defense, 13 in special attack, 12 in special defense, and 14 in speed. That's what we're running with. Let's see how we get on. Interesting moves in this one will be close combat and no retreat, as well as some of the other moves actually. Yep, so about 10 minutes faster on our second attempts there. I know, no retreat with the badge boost glitch in yellow would be even more busted than it potentially will be in Gen 2. If we get mean lucked, we can set up infinitely, well, up to +6 anyway. But if we don't get mean lucked, we can only use it once. I can't remember what I gave the rival in this one either. We'll find out in a moment. He's got the Totodile line. And we're in medium fast, unfortunately. Did I get that berry? Yes, I did. My movement with this particular ledge has been shocking lately. Not too bad overall for our stats. Fairly well balanced, I would say. It's our early game learn set that's going to be lacking. Thinking about giving this one a run up Sprout Tower. I'm also really happy with how the back sprite came out. And the front sprite, to be fair. The movement in general at full time speed is ruthless. I've just not quite got the hang of this D-pad again after swapping controllers back. So I should invest a little bit of time doing some movement practice. I'll make a decision on Sprout Tower purely on how this Spearow goes. We are doing Sprout Tower. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's the trouble when you're starting with just Gen 2 tackle, ostensibly. Because Rock Smash isn't a good move, even with Stab. Yeah, my movement was so good in the last one with Flashless, I thought, let's end that on a high. Nah, we won't be stuck with Rock Smash until Blackthorn. It's only a TM in this gen, thank goodness. If we were doing this in Gen 3, then we would. For goodness sake, tackle. Well, we wouldn't be stuck until Blackthorn would be stuck until... Oh, where is it? It's at the top of the map, isn't it, in Hoenn? Near Fall Arbor, I want to say. Maybe in Fall Arbor. Could be wrong. Or is it Lily Cove? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the move Reminder, aren't I? So yeah, Lily Cove is, what, 6 gyms in? So that would not be a good time. Oh dear, we are out of tackles as well. True, if you get your teleport spots right, you can skip Winona. No, we don't have the bike yet, annoyingly. Yeah, that section without fly is very annoying. We don't have any heals, so we will go back into the Pokemon Center. I feel like you get fly a little too late for my likings in Hoenn. There we go. I think we absolutely did need Sprout Tower for this one. 757 for the Zephyr badge. I'd like Fly from Price as well, because that would change the routing quite significantly. I do not like Corviknight at all, so Skarmory, by virtue of it not being as bad as Corviknight. Though I'm not a big fan of either, to be fair. I feel like Still Flying has always been a letdown. Welcome in, Fakalash. I've just never liked Corviknight's design. And its cry goes right through me as well. I do like Tinkerton, purely because it has a vendetta against Corviknight as well. Let's get Kenya. Now, even though we learn Swift, we're not going to get it, because in 1 level's time we are going to get our grubby mitts on Headbutt. so we might as well just run headbutt instead. Let's get into Slowpoke well now. Surprised we didn't get the double quick attack there. We will eventually get good moves, but at the moment, now we get a good move actually. We don't have the best starting learn set, but it is good to see a fighting type get half decent moves, comparatively speaking. Fighting and Rock were both in a similar boat with that, weren't they? Like, both Fighting and Rock type Pokemon had really terrible moves in the first two gens. I suppose Power Gem, and even that's a special rock type move, isn't it? Is the best rock move at the moment. Tis but a scratch there from the Paris. We are going to do a very quick PowerPoint heal though. And while I remember, because otherwise I will forget. We need Mud Slap for the Ghastly. But before we get to the Ghastly, we are going to take on Bugsy, our second gym leader together. A Bug-type specialist leads with Metapod. 2-shot on the Metapod. Also a 2-shot on the Kakuna will grow to 18. 3-shot, do we reckon, on the Scyther? Yeah, 3-shot on the Scyther. 1304 for the Hive badge. Scyther does not have flying moves, no. So we can breathe a big sigh of relief there. Because we don't get our PP back with Headbutt, I'm going to do another quick PP heal there. And I am going to pick up the Headbutts again because I want it to be renewable. Yes, I know I've still got the egg. There is a rhyme and reason for that. It's going to make menuing ever so slightly quicker. Providing it doesn't hatch. That's part of the experimentation I'm doing now. I know it is a very big shame that we can't run double head, but where the friggin' hell are my repels? There they are. Good eye for spotting it. And now I can swap those two around. So we swap the Paris and the egg around. And it means we don't have to faff about quite so much. Getting all the Pokemon in the right order. So it only saves a few seconds, but it saves a lot of mental stress as well. Of like, which way round do these bloody Pokemon go? We don't learn Dig, which is a little bit annoying. So we're going to be having to rock our Mud Slap. For the Magnemity that we are going to be facing in a moment. I'm eyeing up those 4 mince pies. They're on my desk, taunting me until after I've done this run. We will pick up the Quick Claw just in case. Welcome in, Alex. I am doing very well, thank you. How are you? I was actually thinking about you the other day because I'm going to be scheduling the Masquerade stream fairly soon. Mine are Tesco own brand puff pastry mince pies. They're the ones you get right fresh in the bakery. I deposited the wrong bloody Pokemon, didn't I? I'm not sure how well or badly Masquerade will do either. But it'd be interesting to see. I've got to be honest, I do prefer the runs with Pokemon who maybe aren't the strongest offensively or stat-wise. Welcome in, DG. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Better if you weren't working. It is only Monday as well, isn't it? If you work Monday to Friday. Don't really have anything too positive to say there. Hopefully it doesn't drag. Nice crit there on the Clefairy. Rock Smash being useful? Say it ain't so. Playing badge in 1644. I'm just going to pause the timer for a very quick second. I want to make sure that I did. That is Masquerade's backport. I've not played it yet, but it is available on the website. So you can see the learn set that we will be dealing with when we do its run. If you're around at the end of stream, feel free to remind me and I'll get the Masquerade backport loaded so we can have a look at Masquerade sprites as well as Surskits. Welcome in, TJ. I hope work goes very, very well for you today. And also, lurkers, I am talking to you. Thank you for lurking. Please never feel pressured to say anything in the chat. Just know your company is appreciated, regardless of any words that may or may not be said. I've always liked Surskit and Masquerade. I just wish that they'd kept the water type. Because the water type is such a good combo with Bug. FALINKS is pure fighting. At least I'm 90% certain it is. If not, this backport's been a bit screwed up. What possessed you to have to get up at 8? Did I call it a Gen 9 Pokemon? I've got to be honest with how fatigued I am today. I can barely remember the last thing that's come out of my mouth, as it's been said. Ah, you had your vaccine appointment. Fair. I need to get on mine. I'm putting it off because I always feel rotten afterwards and I want to get a few prereqs done beforehand. Skarmory's my favourite ever Pokemon. That absolutely sounds like something I would say. I have just double-checked Bulbapedia, and FALINKS is pure fighting. So, everything is correct and good to go. And we are Gen 8, and it marched around on the desert route that suddenly became an icy route, because that made sense. Having the Steel type would make it definitely struggle more in a solo running setting. But I could actually see that. I'm sure we have, but I cannot think off the top of my head of a Steel fighting Pokemon. There has to be one. Oh, of course, Lucario. Lucario, that, to be fair though, I think is good in spite of its typing, as opposed to because of its typing. Did I get the repels? Yes, I did. Like, Lucario is great because it gets access to all the punches, it gets set-up moves, and it has stats to back it up. Kanbei, would you be able to do the video result for Tyranitar, please? I think I did it as a Just the Battles 3 years ago. Because I feel like we need to do a Tyranitar redo. Thank you. Oof, 148.58. That is not a good time. Yeah, Mud Slap is going to be a bit brutal for it. Just the Battles is a very old series now. So I definitely will have improved. My instincts have gotten a lot better since doing that series. I feel like we're struggling at the moment because we don't have that diverse learn set. Like, you would very much expect to see that length of TM list on a regular Gen 2 Pokemon. Let's take on Morty. There we go, we have the fog badge. 2652. Let's cross the open seas now. Currently trying to figure out as well whether it's worth holding on to bulk up or whether we do go for no retreat. Because bulk up would be able to get us to set up more than once. But then no retreat boosts all of our stats. So I could definitely see upsides to both. And the question is, which is going to be better for us? I am open to ideas with this one, honestly, Kanbei. My gut instinct says keep bulk up. But then getting the speed buff at red could be pivotal for the run. Because if we can outspeed the Espeon and we can outspeed the Charizard, we can always flinch the Charizard with Headbutt. It's literally just the speed boost that I'm thinking of as well. Like, that's what's causing such conflict in my brain about what we should do with it. Let's go to the lake first, actually. If it was just one, we could definitely roll with the Quickie C. But I don't think we're going to be quicker than the Zard either. And that opens us up to being burnt. Because if we boost our defenses, there's a not insignificant chance that instead of going for Wing Attack, he'll go for Flamethrower. very much, I can see both moves being good. We're not going to use First Impression on this run. We'll hopefully have Mega Horn by the time we get to Karen. It's only 20 levels. I might, for the sake of this stream, run with not first impression, no retreat, to show off the move, and then when we do a prereq, if first impression didn't do, I keep calling it first impression, don't I? If no retreat didn't do what we'd hoped it did, then I can go for bulk up. Because I want to get this one done as a video, probably early next year. Nearly forgot the password there. Nearly through this rocket section now, thank goodness. What's Return's power? Return currently matches strength. That means after we have defeated Price, we will go and get rid of strength. Because we won't need it anymore. Return will do just the trick. I do like, though, having strength in this middle portion of the game. I feel like I slept on it for a very long time, and then I had the revelation that actually you can go through the ice path as soon as you've defeated your 7th gym leader. You don't have to wait until you've done the rockets. I do want to spend some time really psychoanalyzing the entire routing process as it stands at the moment, though. See if there are any more easy optimizations to bring in. I do love that this game is 25 years old, and yet, especially in challenge running scenes, we are still learning more and more optimizations as we go along. Let's take on Price. We've got the friggin' attack drop there from Aurora Beam. But we did hold on to Hidden Power Fire, so it could have been a lot worse than it was. 36-32 for the Glacier badge there. Welcome in, Gigi. I hope work is going very well for you today. We are just about to go on a break ourselves after we've done the ice path and our vitamin shop. This is run number 2 for the day, so I am starting to feel the fatigue. Get the iron, we'll get the protein, and we'll get the PP up. Thank you for the 4 months, GG. I have very good news for you. Raging Bolt is coming out as a video in December. The backport is made up. It is all done. So you don't have too long to wait, just a couple of months for that run. We are going to be running all 3 of the paradoxes in 3 back-to-back videos. But yeah, I think that all 3 of those paradoxes are going to have fairly good runs. We'll get 5 and 3 for now. Because we are going to be pivoting to being a physical attacking only Pokemon at some point soon. Right, I'm going to pause the timer at 38:55. I'm going to take one last break for the stream, and then we'll be back to bring this one to completion. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. My tummy has taken a bit of a funny turn, unfortunately. So I'm just holding off a couple of moments before restarting the challenge to make sure that everything is going to be alright with it. And then we will get back into the challenge. I have also decided I'm going to bump up the Raging Bolt, Gouging Fire and Walking Wake to November, because that'll actually make the runs flow a little bit better as well. So while it's fresh in my memory, I will get that all sorted, and then we will be good to go. There we go. Right, let's get to the end of this run. Be a race between my tummy being bad and the run being over. I will go as far as I can. We might not be able to complete it fully in this one if my tummy gets any worse, but I will give it a good old try. Nice flinch there on the Arbuck. It's kind of frustrating that my tummy's gone bad as well, because I was planning on doing a couple of recordings tonight. I don't think that's going to be possible anymore. So I might dust off the old back ports, get another couple done. I don't know why, but I find that particular grunt more egregious than most of the others that we face. We didn't bloody pick up return. Well, we are here though, we will plonk another calcium in. No, we've not done that bit yet, Squidge. Don't get ahead of yourself. Probably a two-shot on this wheezing. Tackle's fine. Let's take on the fourth and penultimate rival battle now. He is going to lead with Golbat. There we go, Rival 4 defeated. Not the cleanest battle, but we did get through. Still cannot make my mind up as well about bulk up and no retreat. I just don't know whether our speed's going to be high enough by the time we get to red. I've messed this one up, haven't I? I don't want to get poisoned. There we go. Gotta be honest, because I'm not feeling 100% for the second part of this one, my focus isn't 100% there. But I do not like leaving runs half done. We're well over the midpoint of this one, so it should be fine. If I do feel significantly worse, I will concede defeat. But as it stands, I am still good to carry on with this one. I've got tomorrow off from streams anyway, because I've got a video coming out. So I will have a day to rest up. I'm sure it'll all be fine. You know, one of the things that's slowing us down a lot in this one, actually, is learning a move every 5 blooming levels. Let's grab the pink bow from Marie now. Actually, I'm going to go back to Goldenrod a second. I want to grab some carbos if we can afford some. Just on the off chance that we do lose no retreat for whatever reason, I want a backup there. I'm being prepared. Doesn't happen very often. I don't feel confident about one-shotting Dragonair, so I'm going to plonk on the pink bow. Let's take on Claire now. She is our final Jotonian leader. Dragon-type specialist leads with Dragonair. And we get the one shot. Perfect. And we crit. Even better. I do like it when a Claire battle cooperates. It's happening alarmingly frequently at the moment as well. Let's get through this whirlpool and we shall answer the little survey here. It's another 1-1-2-1-2 situation because they were that lazy. And we get the Rising Badge in 51 minutes and 3 seconds. Not too shabby considering our starting learn set, honestly. And the fact that we got beat up by a Spearow. I can't remember the last time, actually, that we had a run where we were going to the league with one reset, and that reset wasn't from a gym leader. It was just some from rando trainer. He had a very annoyed bird on his team. It's been a while since we've been in here, hasn't it? Want to get that one extra rare candy. Because I have an idea for how I want to take on the Elite Four. But it's not exactly a sensible idea. And it all relies on getting to a certain level. Which we should now be absolutely fine to do, so we'll just take on our standard. Couple of trainers on the way up now. Yeah, the only special moves we get are the ones that would be physical. Barring Hidden Power, of course, which it doesn't get naturally. So having a little bit more in attack would definitely make sense. There's no real need for 17 special attack for FALINKS. We don't even learn Earthquake, which would be the key to getting through the league really consistently. But we will make do with what we get here. Let's put the moves in a sensible order. We don't want our attacking move down there. At least no retreat didn't crash the game, like first time when I tried to code it. Let's get 4 of you, and I want to get some max potions as well, just to be on the safe side. And we shall now take Will on. He's our first league member. Psychic type specialist, leads with Xatu. One shot on the Xatu, we're going to say no to close combat. One shot on the Jinx. Gonna no retreat here, and then Hidden Power should one-shot the Executor. We'll play around Slowbro's AI of liking to set up. Reflect fades, and we get through Will. We played smart. That brings us on to Koga, second league member. Poison type specialist, leads with Ariados. It was one double team. One double team has eaten through our PowerPoints. But that is Koga done. We're at 724 attack now. It's going to be tight, I think, but we did one-shot the Machamp. What about the Onyx? Oh, yeah, a one-shot as well. Let's take on Karen. Dark type specialist, of course. Leads with Umbreon. Our FALINKS is not that good with the accuracy drops, I've noticed. Interesting that Aerodactyl came out second there. Wonder why. And not Charizard. Maybe because of the rain, actually. That could be very true, TJ. The leader just gets in sheer panic, and the leader retreats, the new one's so thrown by the situation that just misses because it's not used to being up front. 59-29 through the Hall of Fame for this one. Welcome in, Boltbean Gaming. I don't have either of those on the plan at the moment, but I am going to be doing some ghost types in October. Ghost and other spooky Pokemon. I've got to be honest, I didn't pay attention to where we were on the midpoint leaderboard there. We'll let it cycle through. And then we shall take this one to completion. It was obvious we weren't going to be on page 1. Are we on page 2, or are we just too slow for page 2? '22nd place, not too shabby. Now, the timer was accidentally left running when we were going through the leaderboard, so I will restart the timer once we are off the boat. The auto timer got a little bit excited to keep on going then. So instead of staying paused when we were through the Hall of Fame, it just kept on going. But this boat sequence is just over a minute long. There we go. We're roughly in sync, maybe 10 seconds here or there, but that really is nothing across the course of a run. We are done with our level up moves as well now. Let us take on Lieutenant Surge. He is an electric type specialist. Leads with Raichu. That Raichu likes thunder waving more than Jasmine's Magnemite does. $101.55 for the Thunder Badge. Now I must remember to pick up a Protect TM. Are you the TM vendor? Yes, you are. Keeping a close eye on our speed stat as well. We are still slower than Pikachu at this point, which isn't exactly what I was hoping for. We'll one-shot the Tangela. Swap to return for the Jumpluff. Shall return the Victory Bell. And we will Mega Horn the Blossom. Erica's done. 103.32. I reckon we're in line at the moment for a 124, 125-ish. I do just want to double check I picked up the lefties. No, I didn't. Did I get the PP up? So much stuff that I missed. This Janine split is not going to be great. Because we ended up picking up a load of rubbish. Soul Badge, 104.54. Yeah, FALINKS isn't that memorable, is it? Even though it is available in both Gen 8 and Gen 9. Shiny Pikachu, congratulations. We are getting towards the end of this run now. We have just one more slog section to go, that being Nuggets Bridge. In about a minute and a half's time, we'll be done with that, hopefully. $106.38 for Sabrina's badge. Still going. FALINKS isn't that quick. We've got no retreat, so we should be able to do a little bit of setup against the Pikachu. And then outspeed the Espeon that way. Barring no retreat, everything else about this Pokemon does scream filler. It wasn't my... Originally, this backport wasn't conceived by me. Like, it wasn't on my radar. It was somebody else who wanted it, and they weren't able to code it themselves, so I did the coding for it. Yeah, no retreat is a single Omni Boost at a time, unless you've been me-looked or spider-webbed or something. But then you can't switch out. I actually think it's a fairly well-balanced move. Something really subtle, actually, but you may have noticed when I'm playing Gen 3, I will call it an elixir. But when we're playing Gen 2, I'll call it an elixir. Because I'm just reading it off the screen as it literally is spelt. I have a really nice routing for Smeargle. And I've been wanting to replay it. My trouble with Smeargle, though, is it relies heavily on getting Dunsparce to show up in Slowpoke in Dark Cave. So a stream with it wouldn't be particularly interesting. I play with animations off, so I don't have a particularly favourite move, aesthetic-wise. Yeah, I've never played with the animations on. Swap's return for the Rhyhorn. Get the range on the Onyx as well. We are getting towards the very, very end of this one now. Yeah, the mandatory animations in Gen 1 threw me. First time I did a Gen 1 challenge. You only learned that yesterday? I've got like 4 yellow videos, if that, on my channel. You mean to say you've missed them? I really wanted to get in yellow. Into yellow. Thank you for popping in, TJ. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you for the well wishes about the pain that is currently going on in my middle area. Touchwood work will fly by for you. Why isn't this Macargo trying to attack? Let's take on blue now. Yep, we are in the Lego gym. Not going to risk Megahorn's accuracy on that Executor. Final badge in 113.44. Let's chat with Oak. Let's get ourselves over to Silver Cave. Right, let's dig in. can see there actually what I meant about Charizard going for Flamethrower. We got the win on this one now. Possibly a range on the Blastoise, but we get the one shot. 1:16:45. Clean, clean, clean. Our only reset was Birdkeeper Abe. I feel like FALINKS looks like a bug as well, but it is pure fighting. For reasons beyond the realms of normal human comprehension. 19th place. Overall, yeah, Abe the bastard. I can't believe our only reset on that one was Birdkeeper Abe. Overall, I think FALINKS, for all of its shortcomings, did pretty well for itself. '22nd place overall. Just 10 seconds behind our, I think that's our initial Zangoose run. I am always in awe when we play both this leaderboard and the full leaderboard of just how many runs we've done together here on the channel. Like, it's legitimately astonishing to see just how much we have done over the last 3 years. And every single one of these runs tells a story. All the times together would be a very, very, very long time. If we take an average of, say, 1.5 hours for each run, which is probably about fair. How many runs have we done? We'll soon find out. Well over 250. Yep, 2 Vaporeon runs, very close together. There are 2 Porygon 2 runs as well, right next to each other. 326 is our number of runs. That's 489 hours, if it's an average of 1.5 hours per run. I got a little bit frightened then, seeing Staraptor at the front, but then I realised no, Staraptor's video is out. Now, I'm not sure if you are still in, Alex. I'm not going to run it today. But I do want to at least show off the sprite work for our Surskit and Masquerain backport. So let me get the correct mapper up so that we can at least see what we are playing with. So this Surskit and Masquerain run, well, probably just the Masquerain actually, will be coming fairly soon as a backport on the channel. I do just want to very quickly show off the sprites and give you all an idea of the learn set we'll be dealing with this one. So there are the front and back sprites for Surskit. And then this is what Masquerade turned out like for the front. We'll have a little look at the back as well. And then we'll call it for the day. So if you do want to get your hands on that, Alex, the link is on the website, trainersquidgy.com. I've got a feeling it will be a very, very rough run. We are definitely going to have to play smart with Surskit and Masquerade. I'm going to give myself a longer time slot for that one, so it'll probably be an evening stream here in the UK for that particular Pokemon, but we are now going to call it. It has been quite a long stream, 3 and a bit hours. I need to go off, have a little bit of rest. I will be back probably on a Wednesday for our next stream. I'm going to take tomorrow off. We do have a video coming out tomorrow. If you are a HM friend of the channel, it's going to be Dragonite's Unbound run. If you are not a HM friend of the channel, it's going to be Miltank. I will now say thank you all so much for watching today. It's been an absolute pleasure. GG, thank you for the 4 months of the channel membership, being a HM friend. I will catch you all very, very soon. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.